Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, March 19th, 2026. This is Truth News. I am Walter Bass. Tonight, we are going to talk about our downward spiral, the collision course we are on that our duly elected public servants have put us in a perilous situation as a nation, as a society, as a country. And, last night's episode went on a bit of a rant because I really am just done with these evil toddlers. But I did not acknowledge our sponsor, so I want to do that first tonight. We're being brought to you by the Presidential Combo. It's now available at McDonald's. It's the McFetus sandwich, fried baby flesh between the buns of a fillet of fish, with a large fry and a Diet Coke for $999.99. That's the Presidential Combo, the McFetus sandwich, available now at McDonald's, $999.99. If you're into cannibalism of children like our fine public servants of the United States of America in 2026. And I'd also like to take a minute to acknowledge serial child killer State Judge Kelly L. Hansen, who kidnapped my son, stuck his dick in my 7-year-old son, murdered my son, and my son is one of thousands of children over this man's 16-year career as a serial child murderer, rapist, torturer, abuser, and even seller of stolen children from the place we all know too well, Riverside County, California, where Greg Laurie and Harvest Church has been selling children to Romania for 20 years, where Sinaloa Sheriff Chad Bianco sells guns, drugs, launders money, and sells children to the Sinaloa cartel, where District Attorney Mike Hestron sells guns, drugs, children, and launders money for the Sinaloa cartel, because the Sinaloa cartel pays a little bit more than the American taxpayer, and our government is sold out to the highest bidder thanks to pay-to-play politics. Again, this man kidnapped my 7-year-old son, stuck his dick in my 7-year-old son, and murdered my 7-year-old son that I haven't seen or heard from since 2021, and I can't get his teeth, toenails, fingernails, or hair back from the United States government because crimes against children and crimes against humanity are strongly advocated for by the United States government, as we all know too well, with the Einstein files, with the war in Iran. The list goes on and on and on. So we're going to cover what I'm calling a collision course. And you're probably thinking a collision course. What are we going to collide with? Where are we going and what's the end result? We'll get to that at the end of the show. Just remember, we are on a collision course thanks to the people in charge of our institutions, whether it be the president in the Oval Office, whether it be the FBI, whether it be the CIA, NSA, Homeland Security, DEA, ATF, Congress. All of these institutions, all of these government agencies are all on a collision course, and we will get to that. So first, we're going to talk about the pride and ego of TV personalities and podcasters has put the United States of America in a death spiral. Make no mistake, these people are not qualified for their positions. Donald Trump is not qualified to be the president of the United States of America. He's a child rapist. He's a child abuser. He's a murderer. He is a man with bloodlust and evil coursing through his veins, and it has spanned his entire lifetime. I just did a special on him. His entire life, he's been a problem human being. He has problems. He has psychological problems. He has self-control problems. He has discipline problems. He is the clinical definition of a psychopath and a sociopath. And I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not exaggerating. This is not political. I could care less. The man is out of his mind. And on top of that, he's 80 years old. He is dying. He knows it, and he's mad because he's dying, and he don't think it's fair that he has to die and other people get to live on. And everyone is exposing him as a child rapist, a murderer, and all of the horrific crimes against children and humanity he's committed over his lifetime. And he don't think that's fair either. So he is punishing everyone for his crimes. That being said, the more these imposters and posers try to prove they are smart, the dumber they actually prove themselves to be. Have you noticed that pattern of behavior? Pete Hegseth, the stumbling, mumbling Fox News personality, it just gets up there and does the greatest word salad with absolutely no dressing whatsoever. Just a dry, bitter, mildewed word salad talking about nothing, answering no questions, just a whole bunch of fancy words put together. I mean, if you put Pete Hegseth and Kamala Harris next to each other, it would literally be a contest for who has the worst word salad. And these people, they are imposters. They are posers. They are cosplaying, LARPing. They are actors. They are not fit. They are not qualified. They don't have the intelligence. They don't have the empathy, the compassion. They don't have any characteristics or qualities that make them able to perform the duties that come with their jobs. Whether it's Pete Hegseth, even Tulsi Gabbard, Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche, Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump, Kash Patel, all of these people are highly, highly unqualified. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. To me, this is the equivalent of taking a junior high school kid, which would be the Caroline Leavitt, the Donald Trump, the Pete Hegseth, the Pam Bondi, the Todd Blanche, the Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel. They are like junior high kids playing football. And now they have been thrust into the NFL. And they are trying to compete at the NFL level. And all they can do is sit there and recite the playbook. They cannot get on the field. They cannot execute the plays. They can't keep up with anyone else on the field. They are way out of their league, out of their element. And the best thing they got is word salad, cameras and microphones, and a media apparatus that's an echo chamber that will just echo and repeat everything they say. I've never seen anything like this. I thought it was bad when Clinton with Monica Lewinsky pulled the, "I did not have sexual relations with that girl." I thought that was bad. And I was young. I was a teenager. I was literally around 18, 19 years old when that happened. 17 to 19 years old when that happened with Clinton. And at that age, I thought this guy is crazy to get on TV and lie like this. I mean, we got your semen on a dress, Bill. Your semen's on her dress there, buddy. I mean, we got DNA evidence. And I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And here we are 30 years later, and it's unbelievable that these people, and I'll be honest with you, I think Caroline Leavitt should have her children taken away. She's unfit to be a human being, let alone a parent. How can a woman who can go up and defend rapists and murderers of children, how can a woman who does that for money raise children? She should not be anywhere near a school. She should be banned from all places where children are present. She shouldn't be able to go into a McDonald's that has a children's play place. That woman is so mentally psychotic. And she's not the only one. Pam Bondi, Erica Kirk, all of these women are literally psychopaths. I've never seen anything like it in my life. So now this is the truth. And I started to say this is my opinion, but it's not my opinion. This is the truth. These highly unqualified actors are intentionally murdering United States military members. And you're probably thinking that's an exaggeration. You're being hyperbolic. I'm going to repeat that for you. These highly unqualified actors are intentionally murdering United States military members. These imposters and posers who have no clue what they're doing, are sending United States military members into places they know that they're going to get killed. They know it. We've seen this before. And I'm going to get to that later in the show. We've seen this pattern of events play out before. The intentional murder of United States military members by people in Washington, D.C. We've seen it for decades. So, you're thinking, what are you talking about? Vietnam? Yeah, I'm talking about Vietnam. That's one instance, but we're going to talk about September 11th of 2012. The American diplomatic compound in Benghazi was attacked, resulting in 4 deaths. 4 Americans, and I thought the number was 9, and I got this from Wikipedia. I know Wikipedia can be altered. I don't trust anything on the internet, and I do believe that number was altered from 9 to 4. I do believe it was 9 people that died in Benghazi. Could have been 11, but in any event, that was intentional. It could have been avoided. There could have been an evacuation. There could have been troops sent in, reinforcements. There could have been a lot of actions taken. Hillary Clinton decided not to do anything and just sit by and let those people die. And after they died, she got questioned on Capitol Hill. She got questioned by Congress. And you can look up her testimony if it's still available. I didn't need to look it up because I remember it. It is burned into my brain when they were questioning her about the United States military members being murdered in Benghazi. And her response was, they're dead, so what does it matter? That's what Hillary Clinton said to the Benghazi attacks and the murder of United States military members. They're dead, so what does it matter? That is a psychopath. And this is a pattern of psychopaths from the Clintons to the Bushes, Obama. And I was watching Valhalla yesterday, and to be honest, the 2 biggest scandals, and I didn't like Obama at all. I remember the housing crisis. I remember the Wall Street bailout and the Main Street bankruptcy. I remember all of Obama's LGBTQ, all of that nonsense, lighting up the White House in the rainbow. I didn't agree with any of that. I didn't like any of that. But Obama's 2 biggest scandals were wearing a helmet while riding a bicycle and wearing a tan suit. A tan suit and a bicycle helmet. Now we're up to cannibalism of children and the world's largest child sex trafficking ring. We've come a long way, haven't we? Now, while I was doing research for this show, I thought that September 11th of 2012, as soon as I saw that, I thought, why does this date keep popping up? Why is it September 10th, September 11th? Well, what is it? We know what the other September 11th was. When 2,977 United States citizens were brutally murdered, jumping out of windows, from skyscrapers, burned alive, crushed to death. And that could have been avoided too. Because let's be honest, our government tells us nothing of the truth. Nothing about anything. These events are actually happening, but the reasoning behind them is all fabricated, every bit of it. And we're going to get to where I'm going with all this. Matter of fact, we'll get to it now because it's next on my note sheet. I looked up the definition of a false flag. Many of you have heard that term. You might have an idea or concept of what it means. You might want to look it up. A false flag operation is a political or military action staged to appear as though another party is responsible, designed to shift blame, justify retaliation, or create a pretext for war. I did a show probably a week and a half ago, that our greatest liability is a Jussie Smollett nation. Do you remember Jussie Smollett staged the hate crime against himself to generate attention, to try to get better acting roles, make more money, more attention. More money, more attention. So Basically, a false flag is what our government's been doing to us for decades. For decades, these false flags have been operated, orchestrated, and conducted either by our own government or with the knowledge and consent of our own government. So let me make this clear. The United States government has been actively murdering American citizens and military members, or allowing the murder of military and American citizens with consent so they can push their agenda, whether it be to take our rights away, whether it be to start another war somewhere, whether it be to steal our money, whether it be to instill fear in us, to control us, whether it be a psyop. And, I find it odd that September 11th, 2012, Benghazi. September 11th, 2021, World Trade Centers. September 10th, 2025 was Charlie Kirk. What is the deal with September 10th, September 11th? Well, I've done a show on that. You might want to look in. It's our greatest liabilities religious day. They do have something going on that day. I can look it up real quick. Let me see real quick. It's not a Jewish holiday. I thought it was Rosh Hashanah. Let's see, Rosh Hashanah is the New Year in Judaism. In 2026, the new year begins September 11th. So I don't want to dive too deep into the United States' greatest liability. I've been getting shadow banned, and you know how technology is when it's ran by the incompetent agencies of the United States government. So I just went over this. The United States government has been staging false flags to invoke fear and to control the American people. And this is where we're going to get into the collision course. The problem now is they have pulled the same trick for so long. Everyone is caught on. Everyone is wise now. I think the assassination of Charlie Kirk was a defining moment and an eye-opening moment for the United States of America as a whole, as a society. That's when we realized nothing is as it seems to be. A lot of people woke up and said that's impossible, the 30-06, no exit, just on and on and on, the Fed slop. And, I know from experience, and let me tell you, a lot of you probably know this from experience too. I was lied to for 10 years by my wife. For 10 years. I thought she was someone she wasn't. She was a completely different person than I thought she was. But for 10 years, I had this mental image of who she was, what she did, how she conducted herself, how she carried herself. But the one time I caught her actually being who she really was, it only took once. And all 10 years opened up. Everything that had happened over the 10 years, I completely just woke up and saw everything. And I know a lot of you have had that happen. I know a lot of you have been lied to, whether it be by friends, whether it be by family, significant others. They lied to you, whether it be 6 months or 6 years. This is the problem with lying, is you get away with it, and you get away with it. But the one time you get caught, all the other times you lied, you open yourself up for. And I know everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about. So now, because everyone knows everything about what's going on in our government, with the FBI, with the CIA, with the MK Ultra, with the Mockingbird. Everyone knows every game, every card. We know every trick they pull. We've seen it. The mainstream media is done. We're all done with them. We're all done with the incompetence agencies, intelligence they call themselves. I call them incompetence. We're done with the crimes against children. We're done with the lies, and they're panicking. They are panicking, and they're desperate. They don't know if we're in a war, an excursion, or a military strike. And it keeps going around this carousel. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. They can't even all get on the same page. Joe Kent had to resign because to keep his integrity. He said, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm going to tell the truth, and I'm not going to condone all of this crap that's going on. He resigned. They all attacked him. It's a cult. It's a cult that's going on. And I did a show on that too. And this is the problem with these actors, TV personalities, podcasters. I mean, these people who are not fit to be in regular society, let alone to have a position of authority. These people are not mentally fit to be in regular society, let alone to be in a position of authority. Period. Full stop. But this is the problem of what they've done. They've created this entire persona, this entire smoke and mirrors show, and this fake persona of who they want everyone to think that they are. And they had a lot of people fooled for a long time. But now everyone sees them for who and what they really are. And they don't know what to do. And here's the collision course we're on. You see, reality is setting in for millions of American people. The mainstream media narrative, Operation Mockingbird, is not working anymore. MK Ultra don't work anymore. The PSYOPs aren't working. The false flags aren't working. All of these smoke and mirror tricks they have used for decades to elude us and confuse us and control us are done. And now they're having to stand on principle, on who they actually are, because we see them for who and what they are. The homosexuality, whether it be Lindsey Graham or all of these other scumbags, whether it be the hookers and the alcohol from Dan Crenshaw, the alcoholics, the pillheads, the cocaine addicts, the child molesters, the child rapists, the abusers, the woman beaters like Corey Mills, the sluts and the whores like Nancy Mace and Anna Paulina Luna, who have slept their way into their positions. They have no intelligence. They got a pair of tits and an ass and legs that spread open anytime they want so they could get to where they are. And that's the truth. That's the truth. And now that we see them for who and what they really are, and they can't fool us anymore, we are now on a collision course. So here is the two options. Millions of Americans, millions of hard-working Americans, such as myself. I don't think I have paint on me today. I did pretty good. And I did paint today. Millions of Americans go to bed late at night, tired. Some of us hungry because we can't afford groceries. We got to make a choice, pay the electric bill or buy decent groceries. We're tired. We go to bed late, hungry. We get up early. We drag our tired, stressed out butts to work at a job that's very, some jobs are fulfilling. Other jobs are just, I need the paycheck. And we do this day after day, and we see our money being taken out of our check, and we can't live. We can't pay bills. We're stressed out. We're tired. And millions of us are now fully awake, and we see these scumbags for who and what they are. And the collision course is these scumbags, although they're fully exposed, the emperor is naked, as the saying goes. The emperor is out naked and don't know it. They are doubling down on their desperate lies. They're doubling down on their desperate lives to maintain their employment status as public servants so they can be millionaires with multiple homes, private jets, clothes, jewelry, alcohol, staffers and aides to wait on them hand and foot, gardeners, maids, housekeepers. See, these people are worthless. They have nothing to offer our country. They have nothing to offer our society. They are not gifted. They are not intelligent. They have no good ideas. All they have is a media apparatus that is willing to bow the knee and run that camera and microphone to let them spew the most sick and evil lies you've ever heard in your life. So they can try to convince millions of Americans who are no longer asleep, who are no longer dumb. We see them for who and what they are. And they want to convince us that we need them. We need them for our country to operate. And what they've done with this Iran war, what they've done with the Einstein files, what they've done is fully expose themselves for the idiots that they are. The idiots, the addicts, the sexual deviants, the miscreants, the creatures that they really are. So this collision course is bound to meet. Reality is going to meet their fantasy, and it's not going to be pretty. Because the reality is there's 340 million Americans in this country. The reality is there's a couple of thousand of them in Washington, D.C. There's 435 Congress members. There's, I don't know how many in the presidential cabinet, give or take 20 or 30 in the presidential cabinet. And all of our military is strewn out across the world. Iran, we just pulled some from Taiwan to put in Iran. We're talking about Cuba, Venezuela, Greenland. You see, they're spreading themselves thin. And you got 340 tired, stressed out, hungry, pissed off Americans who are looking at child rapists, thieves, addicts, murderers, and liars run to every camera and microphone they possibly can to spew their propaganda, to beat us over our head with nonsense like we're stupid and insult our intelligence. And this is a collision course that's not going to end well. This is not going to end well for the United States government. So I'm going to send this link out to Ro Khanna, to Thomas Massie, to Robert Garcia, to threats at Capitol Hill, to 70 other people, podcasters, Baron Coleman, Candace Owens, Coach Colin, and Nate Evahala. This will go to him, as I do every link of every video. Whether they see them or not makes no difference to me. I will do this as long as it takes. But the truth of the matter is, Washington, D.C. can serve we the people, or they can get served by we the people. That's the reality. The delusional psychosis that they live in, thinking that we the people have no power. We the people is the first words in the Declaration of Independence. It's the very first 3 words. We the people. Not House, not Senate, not President, not Cabinet, not Congress, not intelligence. We the people. The weather's getting hot. I'm in Oklahoma. It was pushing 90 today. We're in March. Gas prices are going up. Groceries are going up. Rent's going up. Electric's going up. Everything's going up. Wages and jobs are not going up. Jobs going down. This is a powder keg with a short fuse that is fully lit. You see, my dad always told me, he was a Marine, and my dad always told me, son, never back a coward into a corner. You see, you take a lot of people and you back them into a corner and don't give them an option. You kind of put them in a position to do things. And under the Declaration of Independence, it says, after a long train of abuses and usurpations towards invariably the same object, to reduce the people to absolute despotism It is the right, it is the duty of the people to overthrow that government and provide new guards for their future security. That is in the Declaration of Independence. So, as a man of God, as a Buddhist, I would like to let my fine public servants know that I would highly recommend you change course on your actions and you start cleaning up the messes you have made. You start doing what you're supposed to do towards our nation, towards our laws, our Constitution, towards these children, towards your constituents, towards the 340 million Americans that you serve. Because everyone is free to choose. No one is free from the consequences of their choices. And I think that's where we've gotten a bit strayed off the path. Too many people have been allowed to make choices and not deal with the consequences. And that's not how reality works. So without further ado, it is day 1652 since Grayson Bass, my son, was kidnapped, violently sexually assaulted, and murdered by serial child killer State Judge Kelly Hansen. I will make these videos, I will send my emails, I will make my phone calls across this country every single day if it takes 25 years. I don't care how many times the FBI assaults me. I don't care how many years I got to live in a car. I don't care how many felonies they put on my background to prevent me from working. I don't care how many death threats they send to me. I don't care. When I signed up to serve my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I knew what I was signing up for. I was signing up to die. And we're all going to die. I would rather die for something than live for nothing. So, with that being said, let's go to Ephesians 2, start at verse 1. And you were dead in your trespasses and sins, in which you formerly walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, of the spirit that is now working in the sons of disobedience. You see, let me tell you, you were dead in your trespasses and sins. And I remember in my 20s when I would go to the bars and the clubs with my buddies and we would drink. I was dead. I was dead. There was no fun in that. It was miserable. I felt horrible when I was doing it. I felt horrible the next day. I was dead. And that's what it is. Sin, you're dead in sin. I don't care what it is. And lying is one of the worst. Lying is so bad for your mental health, your spiritual health, and it leads to a road of destruction. Nobody gets away with anything. Nobody. And you formerly walked according to the course of this world, the fleshly world, the fun, the lies. That's not the spiritual world. The spiritual world is the truth, discipline, consistency, commitment. Those are spiritual attributes, not fleshly. Fleshly is lust, greed, power, control, the illusion of control. So, I want to thank everyone for your time, your attention. I ask that you please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Share this video. I will do this every day until the day I die, until the police or the FBI kick in my door and kill me, which I expect any time for telling the truth, or until I get my son's teeth, toenails, fingernails, and hair back, murdered by the United States government. Thank you, everyone. Please have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow.